All right. So getting bashed by a physical therapist, it's okay. It happens. I've been dealing with this. I'm getting old now, but I've been dealing with this for like 14 years. And it's like they love being on the internet. They love being on social media all day long. I'm like, are you guys even with clients? You have all this time to comment and share. During COVID, there was a big push where everyone wanted to go online, and the physical therapists were like, oh my God, this is great. We can just coach people and help them fix their injury without ever laying our hands on them. It's going to be amazing. Oh my God. And they talk about how they have all these exercises and stretches they can show you and magically fix problems, but we all know that's nonsense and it doesn't actually happen. A thing you want to avoid at all costs is really just arguing with people on the internet. It's a giant waste of time. It gets you nowhere, gets you more pissed off, and it makes you lose your time. Now, trust me, back in my younger years when I was full of, spite and anger and just vigor, ready to go, I would go and write these long threads and go back and forth. And it always ended up with like someone calling the other person a jerk, saying they felt bad for my patients or I felt bad for their clients. And we never really got anywhere. There's these biases that are built into us as humans. One of them is called the confirmation bias. And the idea is like, no matter what I do or whatever I look at in information, it's always going to meet my needs and what I want. And they tend to consume and be around other people that build into those biases as well. The other one is called a conviction bias, where they're just like, it doesn't matter. My thing is the greatest. Nothing else can even come close to this. This happens for everybody. I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you are too, but it's really built into our DNA and can really mess us up a lot. So why does it seem like physical therapists like to bash soft tissue work? I'd say number one, because it actually works. And number two, because they suck at it. It is a hard skill to learn. Most physical therapists just kind of dabble in it. They might take a course here or there. They might try something, but they're not really doing it as their main thing. Us as soft tissue providers, that's all we do. We're the best at it and we do it and we get amazing results. And instead of them being like, oh, this is good and this could really help my client, they're just like, it sucks. It doesn't work. You suck. Feel bad for your clients, all that stuff. And it's just kind of lousy when they do that, but it is what it is. And there's nothing you can do to really control it. It's a skill and it takes time to learn. And most people are allergic to putting in the time and the details. So instead of just being like, yeah, that works really well and it has amazing results, they just say it doesn't work. It's their own inner projections. And they're just putting it out there because they suck at it. It has nothing to do with you. So some common tricks and tactics the physical therapists use to put down soft tissue work, they got like a go-to thing. There's like two or three studies that are floating out there, and they always like to reference that. And there's one study about like soft tissue work in the fascia in the foot. And basically, the conclusions of the study were that it takes like superhuman strength to break down that fascia and that scar tissue in there, and no one can physically do that. They basically blindly apply that to every area in the body. They don't understand that there's like subtleties in different areas where the tissue isn't that dense, it isn't that thick, and it can actually work. And then they always kick out these studies where they did soft tissue work based treatments, and they're like, yeah, it was show that it didn't have any different effect than doing exercises or stretches or an adjustment or giving them an educational pamphlet. One thing that they always miss in that is the people applying the treatment are usually university students that are like 2 or 3 years into their training. They are not skillful. They have no skills at all. They're very novice. They're very amateurs when they begin. A lot of us that are out there doing great, amazing work, we don't have time for research. We don't have time to sit in a lab and do that. We're out doing real world stuff, getting real results. I'm not going to sit there and do a research study so I can prove my point. My point is proven because I have thousands of patients that have amazing results, and they keep coming back and they tell other people about that. So, how do you properly educate yourself to not get blindsided by them? Just recognize when they're doing it, and they're going to throw the same tactics out every single time and be like, where's your research? Can I see the citation on this in the study? That's what they like to do. They're just sitting there trying to be intellectual people. They want to argue intellectually about what's the best treatment, but they don't want to go head to head with us. They don't even want to get into that realm because they're going to lose every single time. Here's how I know that my treatments and the treatments that you're doing are better, because people are willing to do them and pay top dollar, and they're not even covered by insurance. Yeah, that takes a lot because the market dictates what the value is going to be. And if people are still coming to you, and I have patients that pay me 100, 150, $200 a treatment, and want me to take insurance, but I don't, but they still do it anyway because there's true value in it. All these physical therapists are sitting there trying to use insurance. Insurance sucks. The provider who takes insurance sucks. That's just flat out. And they're all trying to go cash based, but they don't have a good product. So, why are soft tissue based treatments the first issue that must be addressed in the treatment process? It's really important. I made a whole video about this. I'll link it up top here if you're watching this on YouTube, about the order of operations and going in and fixing a problem and restoring range of motion. That really dives in deeper. If you're consuming this anywhere else, I'll put it down in the description below as well. But basically, problems start with decreased range of motion. Over time, bad tissue builds up, and that's called scar tissue, and it makes the muscle weaker, less flexible. It can get into the muscles, it can get into ligaments, it can get into fascia, and it needs to be broken down with a manual process. You can't exercise it, you can't stretch it, you can't jam your elbow in there. It takes precise and precision depth and tension to break it down, and that's what needs to get the problem fixed in the first place. So when you got people that come in and maybe they have like cartilage problems, tendon problems, disc problems, nerve problems, all sorts of things. The problem is that that bad tissue is putting pressure on there. It's like their thumb stuck inside a car door. We have to remove all that first. So we need to be the first people that they see. Yeah, physical therapy down the road and strengthening and building up the tissue is super duper important. I said super duper. Very important, but it needs to be done in the right model. So we can play nice with these people if we want, if like we let egos go aside. But when people are just coming out of nowhere to attack you and say that you suck and they feel bad for your clients, like screw those people. Don't even bother with that. Don't even argue with them. It gets you nowhere, and they're just going to want to be right regardless. And they're going to have a whole group of cronies that are going to come out and attack you, and it's going to make you feel worse, and you just ruined your whole day. So the short answer to this question is completely ignore it. Focus on your client. So don't worry about what other providers say or think. They're not your clients. Instead, focus on getting so damn good that nobody can ignore you. If you need help with that, then reach out and take one of our immersive courses that will completely change how you think and deliver treatment, equipping you with the skills and confidence to never have to deal with a moron provider talking nonsense, because you're going to be so busy, so focused on your clients, you're not even going to notice that they're out there. Appreciate you guys watching this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.